Hello, good morning. Finally, I was able to come back online. There was some technical difficulties. Because of that, I was not being able to come online. But luckily, all those issues are resolved right now, and I'm online. I will set my timer. The observers almost never missed a key that was shown at the beginning or near the end of the ad1 task, but they missed the target um, ah, almost half the time when mental effort was at its peak. Although we had pictures of the wide open eye staring straight at it, failures of detection followed the same inverted V pattern at the dilating pupil. A similarity was reassuring. The pupil was a good measure of the physical arousal that accompanies mental effort, and we could go ahead and use it to understand how the mind works. Much like electricity outside your house or apartment, the pupils offer an index of the current rate at which mental energy is used. The analogy goes deep. Your use of electricity depends on what you choose to do, whether to light a room or toast a piece of bread. When you turn on a bulb or a toaster, it draws the energy it needs, but no more. Similarly, we decide what to do, but we have limited control over the effort of doing it. Suppose you are shown four digits, say 9462, and told that your life depends on holding them in memory for 10 seconds. However much you want to live, you cannot exert as much effort in this task as you would be forced to invest to complete an Act 3 transformation on the to invest in Act 3 transformation on the same disease. System 2 and the electrical circuits in your home both have limited capacity, but they respond differently to threatened overload. A breaker trips when the demand for current is excessive, causing all devices on that circuit to lose power at once. In contrast, the response to mental overload is selective and precise. System 2 protects the most important activity so it receives the attention it needs. Spare capacity is allocated second by second to other tasks. In our version of the Gorilla experiment, we instructed the participants to assign priority to the disease task. We know that they followed that instruction because the timing of the visual target had no effect on the main task. If the critical letter was presented at a time of high demand, the subject simply did not see it. When the transformation task was less demanding, detection performance was better. The sophisticated allocation of attention has been honed by long evolutionary story. Orienting and responding quickly to the gravest threats or most promising opportunities improved the chance of survival. And this capability is certainly not restricted to humans. Even in modern humans, Systemon takes over in even modern humans. Systemon takes over in emergencies and assigns total priority to self-protective actions. Imagine yourself at the wheel of a car that unexpectedly skids on a large while asleep. You will find that you have responded to the threat before you became fully conscious of it. PD and I worked together for only a year, but our collaboration had large effect on our subsequent careers. He eventually became the leading authority on cognitive Pupillometry, and I wrote a book titled Attention and Effort, which was based in large part on what we learned together and on follow up research I did at the Harvard following year. We learned a great deal about the working mind, which I now think of as System 2 from measuring peoples in a wide variety of tasks. As you become skilled in a task, its demand for energy diminishes. Studies of the brain have shown that the pattern of activity associated with an action changes as skill increases. With fewer brain regions involved, talent has similar effects. Highly intelligent uh, individuals need less effort to solve the self problems as indicated by both people size and brain activity. A general law of least effort applies to cognitive as well as physical exertion. The law asserts that if there are several ways of achieving the same goal, people will eventually gravitate to the least demanding course of action. In the economy of action and effort is a cost, and the acquisition of a skill is driven by the balance of benefits and cost. Laziness is built deep into our nature. The tasks that we studied varied considerably in their effects on the people. At baseline, our subjects were awake, aware, and ready to engage in a task, probably at a higher level of arousal and cognitive readiness than usual. Holding one or two digits in memory or learning to associate a word with a digit produced reliable effects on momentary arousal above that baseline, but the effects were minuscule. Only 5% of the increase in pupil diameter associated with that three. A task that required discriminating between the pitch of two tones yielded significantly larger dilations. Recent research has shown that inhibiting the tendency to read distracting words, as figure 2 of the preceding chapter, also induces moderate effort. Tests of short-term memory for 6 or 7 digits were more effortful. As you can experience, the request to retrieve and say aloud your phone number or your spouse's birthday also requires a brief but significant effort. Because the entire string must be held in memory as the response is organized. Mental multiplication of two-digit numbers and the add three tasks are near the limit of what most people can do. What makes some cognitive operations more demanding and effortful than others? What outcomes must we process in the currency of attention? And what can System 2 do that System 1 cannot? We now have tentative answers to these questions. Effort is required to maintain simultaneously in memory several ideas that require separate actions or that need to be combined according to a rule. Rehearsing your shopping list as you enter the supermarket, choosing between the fish and with the wheel at a restaurant, or combining a surprising result from a survey with the information that the sample was small, for example. System 2 is the only one that can follow rules, compare objects on several attributes, and make deliberate choices between options. The automatic System 1 does not have these capabilities. System 1 detects simple relations. They are all alike. The son is much taller than the father and excels at indicating information about one thing, but it does not deal with multiple distinct topics at once, nor it is adept at using purely statistical information. System 1 will detect that a person described as a meek and pretty soul with a need for order and structure and a passion for detail resembles a caricature librarian. But combining this intuition with knowledge about the small number of librarians is a task that only System 2 can perform. System 2 knows how to do so, and which is true of new people, of few people. A crucial capability of System 2 is the adoption of task sets. It can program memory to obey an instruction that overrides habitual responses. Consider the following. Count all occurrences of the letter in this page. This is not a task you have ever performed before, and it will not come naturally to you. Um, but your system too can take it on. It will be effortful to set yourself up for this exercise and effortful to carry it out, though you will surely improve with practice. Yeah, my timer has ended. Surely improve with practice. I will put the marker. With the good boys of the world. I forgot to mention that when I was growing up, I was always referred as the good boy. I had some connectivity issues. Anyways, luckily the line has came back. Yesterday, my laptop all on a sudden um, went off, and I left it as it is because it is my thing. Anyways, it's been an interesting read today. Like when I'm trying to use my system to for a specific operation, do I have the control of doing that operation? Like Kahneman talks, like whether I am invoking system um, to do a certain operation, like remembering my grocery list or doing a certain amount of mental work, and my mind, like I have full will to do that, but my mind is not cooperating with that. um, it's because as I have understood, like it's because the mind is always wandering. It's not here. I was having conversation with a friend yesterday, and he was saying that when I'm in the office, I feel like things I will do after going to home. Like I need to have a conversation with my landlord, or um, I need to do certain amount of things at home. And when he goes to bed, coming back to home, his mind keeps thinking about all the tasks he's going to accomplish the next day in office, and his sleep gets disturbed because of that. I mean, it's, I have lived that life, even I am living that life. Like when I'm in the home, I feel like I will go outside for a walk, and in that time, I will solve all the problems that is going on inside my mind. And when I go for a walk, I feel like, okay, let's will go to home and meditate and solve all the problems. And I mean, there is two trade-offs here is going on. One is like This is a trick that mind plays with us, that it doesn't want to be in the present moment. It always takes us to a place that is not here. It's in the past, bringing regrets, lost joys, shame, and everything, and in future, bringing anxiety, like um, projecting too much forward, bringing a lot of things which we do not have any control of. Like future is always unpredictable, and even um, as we can say, the only human being we can control is ourselves. But if we can the operation of control that goes on in um, system 2, which is the controller of mind, we don't have any control over that much. Um, I'm not sure, but it requires a lot of amount of effort, like priming or making it, preparing it for the things we want to have it. Certainly, practice makes it better, and like when I was shutting down myself for a longer amount of time, um, were through inside meditation, like 3 to 4 hours, and some days. Um, 10 to 12 hours, my thoughts were getting organized. And I think Buddha has said, like, you have to cultivate your peace uh, irrespective of anything. Like, nothing in external world should not affect our inner peace or internal sanity, because um, we are able to do what the world tells us or our certain duties, but um, the emotional attachment or which creates the troubles in mind should not be affecting our inner sanity. But it requires a lot of practice, and as I keep always saying, one day at a time. Like if I stop meditating for um, a month or so, I again have strong amount of difficulties to come back and ground myself, which I'm having these days, because um, after the sickness and other things, I have deviated from my day-to-day life schedule, and I'm trying to settle down and come back to my rhythm. But I'm not beating myself for what happened, which I used to do in earlier times. I have been sharing about all my inner turmoils lately through this blog, and also the ideas that Kahneman brings in this book, how it is helping me to understand my mind or our minds, and elaborately what goes on within. Mental life is always known to us, like we seem to think that we understand things as they are, but the truth is we don't understand things as they are, or as it is happening. Things on the surface feels that we are understanding that, but in the detailed um, understanding, we are not big able to do that um, in that way. Um, so I'm not sure um, what uh, life brings to us is most of the cases um, is a product of mind. um, I need to take a pause because it feels like I'm rambling and I have deviated from the point where I started talking. Um, the book I'm reading is Thinking Fast and Slow. It's a glossary of mind's habit pattern, and mind is a tool that I keep referring that we use almost in every second of our life. And like we have our physical body, like all the organs supporting us to remain alive physically. Mind is the tool that protects our sanity as well as um, our ability to function as an individual. And um, these days, like as I'm growing older, I'm trying to take care of mind in a better way so that I can protect my sanity. Although I struggle with a definition of sanity, like um, every human being is insane at some moment in their life. So there is something called san insanity. Like there are sane moments and insane moments. Even if we talk about an insane person, his or her complete life, um, I would say, events are not insane. They are either sometimes sane and sometimes insane. So the idea is cultivate more sad moments, and when you feel like insane, try to, I mean, to cope with that with healthy practices. Um, and um, I mean, as I talked about, overload of memory and pressures that are going on inside mind, we can do that um, very often in our lives. And I don't know, I mean, I think um, at one point I used to think my working memory is very low. And then later I found out the belief system that was taking me to this conclusion was wrong because I was putting too much garbage thoughts and information in my mind, such as um, compulsive browsing of news, unnecessary materials, or um, sources of information that are impulse driven or driven by system one. And I was not aware that those information was taking a lot of space in my mental life and a hard toll in my memory, working memory. And secondly, all the garbage thoughts like about future plans, which are not relevant and which I'm still working on day-to-day basis, like stopping my mind to project too much forward, as well as um, going back in a place that is already lost, like past, and bringing all the shame and guilt, regret, and those kind of emotions. Anyways, it takes a lifetime of practice and as well as continuous daily forgiving and as well as um, the art of living in the present day. um, I feel a lot better in my day-to-day life experience when I'm not making comparison. um, I mean, even comparison is good sometimes, but not in a like unhealthy way. And secondly, I'm not criticizing myself or beating myself harsh way. um, and I'm not putting judgment on every of my actions. I mean, in one of the therapists I had, this is referred as CCJ. So I questioned myself, like, can I live a single day of my life without CCJ? Then I realized that it's really impossible. Like, the mind is so habituated to criticize, to condone, to put judgment on everything, like rather than focusing on the doing. Like as I was talking about, like I want to keep a grocery list in my memory. I have given order to my mental, to my mind that please mind keep this grocery list in your mind, in your memory. But the mind is bringing all this um, regret, shame, guilt, and projection, um, in the act of putting judgments, in the act of um, criticizing thyself and others, comparing myself with others, and all of these things are going on inside our mind, and we kind of mm, we do not know how to act on it, but we are trying our best. Like I'm using the tools that are available right now to me, like meditation, grounding myself, um, trying to move. Like yesterday I was feeling a lot better and I just walked a little bit in the apartment I live in and I felt a lot better. So movement definitely helps. And I also had a few conversations, healthy conversations with some of the people I really trust. And um, it also made me feel better. I felt understood and heard and seen. So it's like one of our basic needs. And I don't know, I mean, I have been trying to understand my discomfortable emotions these days and trying to understand what do I need in that moment, like whether I'm seeking comfort, whether I'm seeking validation, or whether I am seeking something that is important at this moment, and what is the source I'm seeking it from? Is it healthy or is it unhealthy? But it's true, I also fail almost every day a lot of times, and I forgive myself and start again. So like when I was working out a lot, I can recall almost every day I felt like giving up, and I had to um, use the trick that I mean, consoling the mind that next 5 minutes. I mean, let's do it for 5 minutes more, or then we'll finish. And these days, like as I am feeling a lot depleted, I am using the idea or using the trick, like let's do it for 1 minute only. So in that way, I'm trying to gradually build up my mental stamina. Anyways, um, thanks a lot for listening. Hopefully, I will come back tomorrow, reading Thinking Fast and Slow.